Hello everyone, hope you're well. I said yesterday that I might do a video today, and the reason I'd actually done that was because I'd been saying to Claire over the weekend I might try and challenge myself to start doing daily vlogs again and getting in a habit of just making more stuff more regularly, trying to get myself motivated. Because when I had the routine going, it was going fine. I'd have the odd night where I'd be sitting there clutching at straws trying to think of something to talk about. But yeah, I got like 3 days in and then was like, I don't know, and was just sat there thinking, I got nothing. And then I thought, well, it doesn't have to be a grand 15-minute, topic or whatever it is, me rambling on. Like if I do a shorter video, it's not the end of the world. So here I am just chatting. But I was laughing to myself thinking about the past few days, things I haven't mentioned on the vlog that are either stupid or just I thought you might find entertaining. For example, I got home the other day and Claire was parked on the driveway and I asked her to move her car for me. She came out and did that. And I'm getting all my stuff out, sort of going in, and suddenly I noticed half our garden's disappeared. I'm like, what the hell? When did that happen? And it turns out Claire paid someone to come around and just clear out the front garden, remove all the plants, because she wants to plant a bush there and make it all look nice and everything. Something we wanted to do since we moved in. And I just completely hadn't noticed it happened, completely unobservant, completely stupid. I've noticed today that they also cleared up our back garden. That was, I think, Monday that they'd done it, and here we are, Thursday, and I suddenly was like, the garden looks different, and it turns out they've been out there as well. I'm not very observant, I'm a bit stupid. Other than that, we're having a really good week, other than me being stupid. Ollie had another good day at school. Ben had his first full day at nursery today and was exhausted. I've never seen him look so knackered. He actually looked older, he was so tired, and that's quite funny because that's a kid with a lot of energy and now he's exhausted, which is exactly what he needs, so that's good. He was really, really cute today. We asked him if he wanted to go to bed, he was like, yeah. Said goodnight to everyone and off he went. I should say Ollie's really happy. Emily seems really happy back at school. They're learning about space. She's going to do some space thing. It sounds really like, this sounds like the sort of stuff I never learned when I was at school that I would have absolutely loved. Space is an awesome topic. I'm trying to be all geeky and teach her stuff, but I'm teaching her useless facts that she doesn't really need unless she finally realises the ambition I'm setting for her, that she'll be the future president of Mars, which she gets really annoyed about because I keep telling her that's what she's going to be, and she keeps saying that's not what she wants to be. But I'm like, damn it, we're going to rule Mars. Like, I'm watching The Expanse, so I know that we need a leader on there. It's all going to work out. That's basically a documentary of what we need and why we need a good president of Mars. Speaking of that, that's been completely dominating my evenings at the moment, and it's a good program. But it's a very frustrating program because I'm used to having something on. I was watching Good Girls on the advice of Anna, and it's fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was like just a mile a minute, just really entertaining, cliffhangers. I'd put one on, end up watching 4, all that stuff. All the holidays, I was staying up till 2 in the morning watching it. I finished that earlier in the week. We've been watching The Expanse, and you can't watch that passively. You have to sit and pay attention to it, and that is killing me. I was trying to have a chat with my mum last night, and I kept missing what they were saying. We rewound that programme about 20 times, and I was really doing Claire's head in because I'd press play, I'd go back to reading the question, and then I'd be like, I don't know what you just said again. I've missed this clip 3 times now, and I'd skip it back. It took us about an hour and a half to watch a 45-minute episode. It is good, it is engaging. I'm a little bit dubious that my friend told me, though, that the first 4 seasons of it are book 1 of a 9-book series, and season 4 only comes out next year, which means we've got something like another 30 years worth of this story if they decided to make it all. I don't know that we'll ever see that happen. I don't think it's going to be like a Game of Thrones style, they'll finish it all. Glasses are steaming up again. I still haven't got a cure for that, by the way, but it's an entertaining programme nonetheless. I'm enjoying it. I recommend it. I recommend Good Girls more because you can relax and play games while you watch it, and as I mentioned earlier in the week, I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII. I mentioned on Twitter, and I know that some of you won't have seen it because not everyone follows me on Twitter, but I discovered that if you've got a Nintendo Switch and you put your cartridges in, you can claim Nintendo points for every cartridge you own within the first year of it being out. And you can use those points as like 50p off new games. So I ended up getting a £5 off my game because I claimed those. So if you've got a Switch or your kids have got Switches, check it out, it's worth it. I did have some excitement yesterday with 2 of my favourite comics of the past few years finishing for the final editions of each of them, and it was quite a weird one because one of them was The Wicked and the Divine, which if you've ever listened to Mature Gamer, we've talked about at length. It's about some basically famous gods that we all know the names of, like Baal and stuff like that, return every 90 years. They live in humans for 2 years, and then those humans die, and then they disappear for 90 years, and they come back 90 years later and do the same thing, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And this has been a really good story all the way through, and it was a bit like, how's it going to end? What's it going to do? How's it going to go? The penultimate comic kind of resolved the story, and then they were making a big deal about how this was the last one, and I was thinking, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Stayed up till 12:30 last night reading it, and it was basically that's the end of the story last week. This is kind of just the thanks for reading one. And I've been stung twice now by that. I did that with The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead finished, and then I stayed up late reading the last one, and it was set in the future, and it was nothing to do with the rest of the story. Slight spoiler there, but not massively, but it was nothing to do with the rest of the story. My other one, my favourite comic of the past few years, well, I've got two favourite comics. One's Saga, which is on a break, but the other one is Giant Days, which I don't care who you are or what you're into, I'm pretty sure that 9 people out of 10 would absolutely love this comic. It's basically about 3 girls who meet at university in Sheffield and go to uni for 3 years. And that ended yesterday. Well, I thought it did. They talked about on Twitter how it was the last issue. Issue 54 was the final print, all this, that and the other. I even tweeted the guy who wrote it saying, you know, it's been great, will you be doing more? And he kind of said, all the reboots and everything, revivals on Netflix have put me off ever touching it again. I'll leave it how it is. And I was like, damn it. So then I read it, gets to the end, and it says that it'll resolve in a bumper massive edition type thing that's going to come out. I can't remember what they called it. It's basically a bigger comic that's coming out in a month or something. I can't remember. It's sometime between now and the end of the year. And I was just like, okay, so the story did resolve, but then it added another bit. And I was like, okay, I'm really pleased. But again, I'd stayed up properly late reading it. And I just feel like I should know better now than to fall for it, because what they're doing is they're thinking this is going to be released as one big massive book. And when you read a big massive book, you don't resolve the story and then just put the end. You have a bit of a winding down session where you're saying that happened to that character and that character did this, and when comics do it, it just seems really weird because you're used to having kind of the flow running, and then you know the story's just hit a climax and then something else happens in the next edition. But this has just been a bit of a bizarre experience. I don't regret reading them. I'm not saying it jades my view or anything like that. I just was expecting this mind-blowing ending for Wicked and Divine, and it turns out I'd already read it. It was last time, and it was good. I recommend it highly. I reckon they'll make a series out of it, and it'll be great. I'm sure you've heard us all wax on about it before. I'm at a weird position, actually, where none of my stuff comes back for another at least 3 weeks. I've literally got The Expanse and nothing else to read or watch. I've been reading the Lois Lane comic because I'm a sucker for a mystery where they're telling you something really big is going to happen, but they don't actually tell you what it is. As an aside, I got caught out by, and I'm sure I've mentioned this in the past, Stargate Universe had a story where a scientist in the ship they were on in that program had discovered a message at the dawn of time in the background radiation of the Big Bang, and they were traveling towards it to find out what the message was. And that sparked my mind racing with kind of what could it possibly be? What could their justification be for this like show to have several seasons and be a satisfying ending? You know, Lost got me on that because it was like, what is all that about? And I was quite satisfied with that one. Peter Molyneux did the Curiosity Cube, and it was like, inside this cube will be something life-changing. It won't be money, it'll be something more life-changing than money. And then it turned out to just be money, and it didn't actually get paid. It was like the profits from a game that was going to come out, and it was a bit rubbish. But in this one, there's like this massive conspiracy that Lois Lane's uncovered, and she doesn't want to tell Superman about it because she needs to protect him, but people are trying to kill her and he can't find out what it is either, and she's kind of just going about her business as a reporter, trying to change it, trying to figure it out, and the tagline of it is that the revelations from it will change the DC universe forever. And I'm like, what could they possibly think is going to be a satisfying ending to that kind of story, setting that kind of gambit up? and then doing however many, I don't know how many runs it's going to have on it, whether it's like a 10-run thing or it's going to go on for a while, but eventually they're going to have to say, this is what it was. And my brain goes nuts with that, because it's like, what could it be? It's got to be something mind-blowing, surely. It's got to be something that hasn't been done before. It's got to be something that we can't guess, really. But here we are. I'm 3 comics in on it. It's only up to number 3, I think. And I don't know. I'll have to keep you posted on that at some point and just say, when it resolves, I'll say whether it was worth it or not. But I do like it. I wish that if you could recommend stuff like that, that has a satisfying, mind-blowing ending to it, that would make me go, huh, okay, that'd be really cool. Because as I say, I've literally got one program. I'm bumbling around with DC comic stuff, which is good. I'm loving it. They've got their year of the villain. The villains are winning kind of thing. Playing Final Fantasy and doing my own writing. So I'm having quite a good week in terms of that stuff. And I like the lower period. Like, I'm looking forward to Arrowverse returning with their big Crisis on Infinite Earth story. But equally, I quite enjoy the fact that there's not as much going on and I don't feel as obligated. I've got like a spare 2 hours while Claire does some work to just do this and do a bit of gaming and whatever I end up doing. But yeah, I'm on the lookout. One of the things I wanted to talk about before I wrapped up was that a few people have asked me how I'm getting on with these CBD tablets, because they've either taken them, thinking they're taking them, or one guy, Lee McElwain, who I've known for quite a while now, mentioned that he'd been trying them and they weren't really having an impact. He didn't really feel like they were benefiting him. And I'd had little doubts in my mind that I'd been taking them a while and I wasn't really feeling that different. Like, I do feel different from it, but I wasn't sure how it was working. And so I suddenly thought the other day, I might just up the dosage to 2 and see how it goes. Just take 1 in the morning and 1 at night and see what happens. And I've got to say, the one I take at night hits me like a sack of spuds. I don't know why that was what I went with, but it does. And the one in the morning doesn't really seem to do that much. So I'm now thinking, take it at night, which I think is what Anna does. So I'm going to start doing that, because what I'm finding is, going to sleep at night, the hours seem really, really long. Like this morning, I keep waking up in the night because I keep thinking of things, but not in like a panicky way, just more of a, oh, what's that? Yeah. You know, I wish I had a notepad by the bed sometimes just to write the ideas down, but I have an idea, it wakes me up, I look at the time, I go to sleep, I feel like I've been asleep for 4 hours, I wake up and it's been like 20 minutes. This morning my alarm went off at 5 to 6, at 7:15 it went off again to wake me up, and I felt like I actually thought I'd slept for another 2 hours. I woke up thinking I'd overslept and I was late for work. I just feel like the whole morning went really, really slow. Normally it feels like an absolute mad rush, but it just made me feel like it was all calm and relaxed and I was in kind of line with time, if that makes sense. I'm noticing both me and Ollie have a bit of a, we don't really notice time passing as much. He gets really upset that like the 20 minutes he's had to go out and play have just gone, but I'm kind of finding myself thinking, yeah, where did that go? Like, you know, so I think that's just when you're busy, time goes. But no, I recommend trying it at night if you're finding that it wasn't making a difference in the morning, because I was starting to feel like it weren't, or that I was waking up and then you taking it and kind of, I guess it relaxes you a bit, but I want to wake up relaxed and then let the day happen. So maybe that's quite logical, but we'll see, I guess. Anyway, this is a shorter one. I'm going to wrap up there. Lots of different random topics. Let me know what you think, thoughts are. If you've got any questions, if you've got any suggestions. I'm still looking for podcast recommendations because I'm really fed up with the radio at the moment. I don't know what it is. Every year in October, they have the Go Sober for October advert, and I hate the guy's voice. And the adverts just seem to really wind me up at the moment. I just hear the sound of them and I'm like, ugh. So I start turning the radio off. There's a McDonald's one I hate. There's that one. There's just several different bits. I just can't handle the sounds, so I'll just get rid of it. I don't like listening to, it's weird, I don't like listening to the adverts or the news, so and most of the songs are very repetitive. So unless they're just talking, and then if they've got to be talking about something good, I don't want to listen to it, but I'm thinking a podcast might be good. Although they all have repetitive adverts in, don't they? And I just can't handle the repetition. It just drives me mad. The kids have been watching this thing on Netflix called True, and the theme tune just kills me at the moment. If you've never seen it, don't watch it. If you've got young kids, they might really like it, but Ollie and Ben really enjoy it, and it just kills me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been all right. I will try and have more topical videos and do more normal content. I don't know if I'm going to do it daily. I just set myself the kind of subtle little challenge. And I wasn't meant to announce it. I wasn't meant to talk about it. I was meant to just kind of do it. But I've already hit the stumbling block of, well, if you've got nothing to talk about, numbskull, then what are you going to do? So here I am. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for enduring my rambles. And I'll see you all soon. Cheers.